Hi, it's Joy and today I'm going to be watching Loki, Season 1, Episode 3, Lamentis. The last episode was amazing, this show is amazing, I'm so excited to keep watching. A reminder that as always you can find the unedited version of this reaction on all of my reactions on my Patreon, and let's go!
The health department has closed this place down.
Is this how she got into her head and acted like they were friends and then got the information from her?
I'm going to ask you a question and you won't be able to tell me the answer until your synapses melt.
Ooh, that's clever. Where are the timekeepers?
Right? Of course.
Oh, this is clever. Though I don't know how much she'd have known about this environment. To feel comfy in it? Or are they people that get taken for the timekeepers or something? And then she spotted them, so she maybe didn't quite get all the information she'd have wanted. So other time variant agent people that have been taken out of their own time and made to think that they were always part of the agency or something? How else would she know about a random bar? Oh dear. They are very, like, overly complacent and content with their own security. Of course, powers don't work here, which she doesn't know about, but if I was her, I'd have kept that. It comes in handy. She put knives in her locker. You can get some weapons. But is he here to stop her or join her or prove himself to her? To be honest, I'm not entirely sure Loki knows.
A few questions.
Have you really got nothing else better to do?
Yeah.
Rude.
Yep.
Come any closer and I'll kill him.
Go for it.
Yeah, he's not exactly a useful hostage. Oof. He delayed her, she's not going to be impressed.
Not the only tech savvy Loki.
Ooh, what do you get?
No, a Loki.
Maybe just talk to each other? Oh wow.
Idiot! This is Lamentis 1!
I don't know what that means!
All of the apocalypse is saved on that temp. This is the worst! Off here! Watch out!
Oh, watch out! So she cares about him now, though he's got her time portal. You could be a team! Does it not work on him? Or...
Why? Because you're a magician?
No, because my mind is too strong. I'm not going to get very far if it keeps trying to kill me every 30
Well,
seconds.
you're full of it! You need me to get that thing recharged. That's the only reason you saved me out there.
Maybe. I'm not sure. What do you say?
Good for me.
Definitely a Loki.
You shut up! Just because I have to work with you doesn't mean I want to hear your voice.
Calling some faded photocopy of me Loki.
Good, because that's not who I am anymore. I'm Sylvie now.
Okay.
Oh,
I just can't wait to get into both of their heads even further.
brute force is no substitute for diplomacy and guile.
Oh lord, she's not gonna believe you. Bang. The people that... I mean, why is she choosing to stay? Is she choosing to stay because she thinks let other people take the resources, or is she choosing to stay because she thinks there's something to salvage? Because this is...
My way. Hello, look.
Like someone with a shit plan.
It's a great
Yep.
The tickets? Orders come from the top to get her on this train. Sir, this...
Yeah. Teamwork, see? You work well together.
Okay.
They're all on the train, step one.
Oh, you're a bit tired. Feel free, get some rest.
What was she like?
They're gonna actually bond, or is this all manipulation? I don't trust either of them with this, but I want to.
Actually, I was adopted. Is that a bit of a spoiler for you? Sorry about that.
No, I knew I was adopted.
What? They told you?
Yeah. Did they not tell you?
No.
They definitely are from different timelines. I'm so...
Go into their minds and project some sort of illusion.
Really, it'd be easier if I just
Enchanted me and make it give you the temper so you leap out of a moving train. No, thank you.
Well, then don't ask. Okay. Champagne? She was in love.
She hated him.
Maybe love is hate.
Remember that. What was that? Love is.
They're both so obnoxious.
Piss off.
She slept, so she vaguely trusted him. Is he going to report him? Very beautiful song. Why have you taken your guard uniform off, Loki? Yes, Thor.
We're meant to be laying low.
Nobody cares. It's the end of the world.
I think something's happening.
Mm-hmm.
That planet is about to crash.
Loki.
I saw some...
I want an answer
To what?
Love is.
until it makes you bleed.
Okay.
Ultimately, when
This is deep.
Love is an imaginary dagger.
doesn't make sense, does it?
So there is a simple explanation. Hey,
If you touch me, I'm gonna touch you. Oh. Ouch. I mean, these people are all gonna die anyway. These two do make an effective team, whether they like to admit it or not. And whether they can trust each other or not.
Awful throw.
stop it.
Will you stop it? Loki!
Well, I did take quite the tumble.
You arsehole. You killed us.
Maybe we can fix it.
Is that the real tempad?
This man.
Or was that a trick?
I'm a god.
You're a...
What, your glorious purpose? Give me a break. You can't beat them.
Talk more!
Scream make you feel better?
He's such a jerk.
Yes, it did.
Never had us on it.
Make sure it gets off this moon.
That will attract timekeepers, who will have their tempads.
That's not how enchantment works.
Alright, how does it work?
It doesn't matter.
Does he want to learn the secrets for himself?
I've told you. I need to know if I can trust you.
Yeah, I want you to be able to trust each other. But what? We need to know the motivations behind her plan.
That young soldier from the TVA. Her mind was messed up. Everything clouded.
Ooh,
Had to pull a memory from hundreds of years prior.
hundreds of years.
What did you say?
This is fascinating. It's right, they're all people that have been abducted by them.
Yeah, she was just a regular person on Earth.
A regular person.
Loved margaritas.
I
Can-
was told.
All variants, just like us.
They don't know that.
That is amazing. It's sort of something that seemed likely or seemed like something we could guess, but they really have no idea.
We do, and you can.
Oh wow. The TVA is definitely not what it sells itself as. Oh god. Time to move! Oh lord, this is horrible. Teamwork. Does the old lady have a ship or something? Is that why she wasn't leaving? She's gonna fly herself out of town or something? So maybe she's already created a branch because she saw them. Oh my god! Okay, so I absolutely loved that episode. I loved that it was essentially just Loki and Sylvie, the two Lokis, on a mission, or not on a mission, kind of the mission just failed, but just getting to know each other and annoying each other but working as a team. And I really love this show because it's truly a hard show to predict where it's going to go next. It doesn't really have the set pattern of events you're going to follow, and I'm just so intrigued. I love Loki as a character. I think they're following his characterization from the movies perfectly, especially from the later movies where we got to see that underneath everything there was goodness. It's just a lot of messed up stuff on top, and he's often very ridiculous, but he's also just a character that you really can root for, and it's so much fun to get into his brain. And you know, we saw that moment where he looked at all the poor people being left behind and was like, they're gonna leave these people to die, and he wasn't, when he was faced with that, wasn't okay with that, didn't sit right with him, which shows you that deep down, or maybe not that deep down, goodness I think is at his core, but obviously insecurity and a desire for power and to prove everyone that I'm the biggest, baddest villain ever often has overtaken him in the past. Now Sylvie, she's definitely got some kind of a backstory or past with the TVA, and I really want to know what it is. I want to know what drove her to this place, how her life is different. I'm kind of confused about how there are so many different Lokis. If there truly is only one sacred timeline, how could there be this many variants, and how could her life be so different from Loki's? Because I doubt, like, as a baby she varianted off. So I am really fascinated about the whole concept of this. Like, is there actually still a multiverse but the TVA pretends there isn't, just like, and they have their one timeline, the only one they care about, and they're trying to stop new multiverses. And then obviously Loki expressed a lot of doubts to Mobius that the agents and everything, like the timekeepers just created this and created you, and how did it work? But we've now got proof from what Sylvie said, which also makes sense with what, you know, I'm sure we were all thinking after the first scene where we saw her in the agent's mind, of these were just people. These are people with human memories like you or I, who one day did a variant blurge and then got recruited somehow. Maybe that's what normally happens in the process. If they look at the person, and then maybe when you get the punishment you face as a variant is like being mind altered to become another agent or something, I don't know. But there's so much more to this than meets the eye. The timekeepers are definitely, if they even exist, are definitely not the good, wonderful, sacred keepers of the timeline that they want to be seen as. I'm so excited to find that out. Seeing the differences between Loki's powers, but also how kind of at the root they are very similar. It really is the same person but having gone down different paths. I love the confirmation of Loki being bi or pansexual. Just in general, the MCU needs so much more representation, and we're getting it eventually in bits and pieces. But what I really enjoyed was the way they sort of showed these two starting to like each other, despite the fact that they still can't really trust each other, because they both know that that's a version of me, therefore that person could be having 6 other million plans. And I'm just, you know, in the next episode they could find a way off the moon and become on opposing sides, or they could constantly work as a team, and I'm just so intrigued to see how this all pans out. I'm really enjoying this show. I don't have a favourite MCU show because, I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but Disney Plus MCU show, because they're all so different. I couldn't compare them in any way, and I just love all of them. They've all just are the highlight of the week and just bring so much enjoyment to them. I do hope that the Loki and Sylvie are able to stay as a team and work together. And I guess, you know, we need to figure out why she wants to destroy the timekeepers, what her motivation is with that. And similarly, I think maybe if she has a good motivation, he could get on board. I also think he's going to want to tell the agents that they are just variants, that they've been lied to, and it's just going to be really interesting. I think potentially you could destroy the agency by destroying the agents, by making them stop wanting to be loyal, etc., rather than just doing whatever her plan was. So I do hope they work together. My current theory is that the reason the old lady was just casually sat on her ship was because or on her house, was maybe that it was a little spaceship or something, and she's planning to fly away to safety or something, and maybe that's going to be the significance of them meeting her, and of Loki later saying, but why was that old lady so happy to just die or whatever. I think maybe that's going to be ultimately the significance of that and how they get off of this planet, but we will see, because I don't know, obviously the Ark's destroyed, no one survives, and maybe if she's always survived but one person, and maybe she went into hiding, or, you know, the moon was destroyed but she sat on her rock in her ship or something, and then being there will create a branch, which will bring the TVA, which will get them a tempad. I don't know, but I am very intrigued. I feel like, I don't know, there's so much to discuss this episode, and yet we still barely scratched the surface of these these characters, and like I'm even not entirely sure what our Loki's motives are right now, but I also don't think he's entirely sure beyond survival and being very intrigued by this other version of himself and wanting to get to know her more. I am so excited. This episode was so much fun. It ended, and I really just feel like it just ended in the middle, and they should just give us the next one right now, and I actually have to wait a week this time, which is scandalous. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction and all of my reactions on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.